Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure.
The narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that it's really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another Trump administration.
Hi, 𝗬𝗍𝗿. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
All right, legends, beautiful Friday. Are we going to get the pump? Are we going to get the dump? There is literally a 50-50% chance. I am literally 50-50%. There's no 60-40, there's no 30-70 or 10-90. It is 50-50 here at the moment. And to take the noise out of the chart, right, I've just snapped on a little bit of a line chart over here and say, well, you know, this is kind of the scenario we find ourselves in. And from a pattern perspective, purely from a pattern perspective, okay, without picking sides, because I'm literally 50-50 over here, right? Legends, remember to smash up that like button. If you're not already subscribed, make sure that you hit subscribe for future notifications. The momentum came from the top down. And when you form a flag with price coming from the downside, it has a higher probability of breaking down. That is pattern trading one-on-one. The probabilities are higher for continuation to the downside. Okay, it just has to be said. Right, legends, I'll go through the comments in a moment. Just want to open up, well, we're going to now analyze the price action. Over here, I will go back to the normal chart, okay? Just wanted to simplify it over here. What I do like sometimes about the line chart is that it takes the noise away. You have a simple line to trade, and up and down presents opportunities where sometimes those red candles creates too much fear for people to trade. I've also, like I mentioned yesterday or the day before, I've also back tested the D-line strategy using the line chart, and I must say the results are actually amazing. Okay, the results are amazing. Right, so I'm definitely going to keep on using it, keep on back testing it, and see how it plays out in the future, instead of using, you know, the normal candles that we are used to, right? The normal candles that we are used to. And what the line chart basically does, it takes the noise out of the chart. Okay. Right, legends. Now, we currently getting the dump here to the downside. Did we SFP from the level? Oh, we ever so slightly SFP'd or front run the level that I was highlighting for potential short this morning, right? I wanted us to claim the pivot over there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did actually tap the 786. Yes, we got the rejection from the 786, currently falling here to the downside. I did see some, well, I do still see some insane bullish CVD forming against this pivot, but I mean, that could be a nice little swing failure over here. So there's a potential long building up over here, legends, if we do not lose the level. But this is some of the technical analysis I want to discuss today. Okay, we have bullish CVD on yellow, we have bullish CVD on white. You know, this is a potential zone where Bitcoin can find support and continue back to the upside. Let's see how we react at this little pivot over here. I do have an amazing level to the downside, and it would be nice to go and claim that level to the downside. The nice juicy long that I'm looking for the upside, because the crypto summit, everyone is excited about the crypto summit. Okay, it is 8:30 my time. It's 7:30 Central European time because there's a daylight saving hour at the moment. Okay, my time is 8:30, but Central European time is 7:30 tonight. The crypto summit kicks off. It would be nice to get a little bit of, if the news is going to be bullish and everything is just going to rampage to the upside, it would be nice to get a little bit of a retracement before we see an aggressive pump to the upside. And if it's going to be very bearish, okay, it's 50-50. If it's going to be very bearish, maybe we find the upwards momentum today or now before 7:30 tonight, and then we get the dump to the downside to come and claim the lows. Right, legends, it literally is 50-50, but I have my levels marked out. I want to discuss those high probable trading levels that I'm watching today. Yes, potentially a nice little, it looks, we're getting reaction year over year. Let's see, we can analyze the price day together. Right, let me say hi to the beautiful community. As always, you guys can ask questions in the comment sections. I'll try and get to as many comments as I possibly can. Okay, cool, legends. Now, let me say hi. Let me just scroll here to the top and see if I'm missing anything. Mr. SGS, happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday, right? Everyone getting ready for the weekend. And also that crypto summit a little bit later. And we all know Friday evenings is heavily volatile. And it's been heavily volatile for the last couple of Fridays. During the day, you get this choppiness to the upside, to the downside. And then during the nighttime, just before the markets close for the weekend, you get that insane volatile move. And then on Saturday, you just go sideways, right? Saturdays is just known for sideways momentum. And then on Sunday, right before the market opens again, then the volatility kicks in. So if you want to take a break from the chart, Saturdays are usually the best days. Okay, right. Let's go. Got the mod here in the house. Thanks for the support. Yes, smash that like on your way into us. Hello, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace to all. I took a scalp short from 99.70. Ooh, nice. In the short, okay? Remember, when you start hitting resistance, you need to start paying yourself. Can we go lower? Always a possibility. But when you start hitting support, if you are in a short and you start hitting support, you need to pay yourself. Take some off the table, right? Yes, there's a chance that you can come and claim this low. And even this low over there, right? But it could also bounce, okay? And then you didn't pay yourself and you get stopped out. So remember to pay yourself. And I know the members here know how to pay themselves, right? Please give one personal advice. I had a rejection from a girl whom I deeply loved. She don't care about me, as it's from different case. I still can't move on. It's been 2 years. I feel very dull. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, I mean, this is not trading related. I feel a little bit like a psychologist over here. The only thing I can tell you with the shortest amount of time is that there's only one thing in life that can make you happy, and that is yourself. Date yourself, fall in love with yourself, find yourself, and if you find happiness within yourself, you will attract all the good things in life, right? There's no other person that's going to make you whole. You need to find wholeness within yourself. So I wish that you can find the strength to pull yourself towards yourself, move forward, and realize that you don't need this person in your life. You are strong enough as you are. Right, cool. That is my little piece of advice over there. Like, smash for the 𝗞𝗔𝘂𝗿. That is a pure Afrikaans saying over there. Okay. Right, Dewald, can you look at theta? We can look at altcoins in a little bit. My brother in the house. Yes, Boot. Your next intro sounds epic. I can't wait to hear it. He's been working like crazy on the next new intro song. I can't wait to share it with everyone. I haven't even heard it. It's like this top secret project. I've just been asked for inputs and some recordings from my side. So can't wait to hear that. So some exciting stuff coming. Right, let's go. Massive sideways move incoming, right? That is definitely a possibility. Let's just get Dewald, will Andy give 500 US if your stream gets 1,000 likes? I think Andy will definitely do that. If this stream gets 1,000 likes, definitely. But I don't even think we've got 1,000. I mean, we've got 150 people watching the stream. So, okay, if we get 1,000 likes based on 150 people watching the live stream at the moment, right? Let's go. Hi, Dewald. What's up today? We will analyze the price of Bitcoin. Cool, legends. Comments are streaming in. Find Jesus. Right, I see people are giving some advice, turn to religion. I'm not religious myself, non-religious, but I'm not an atheist. My new therapist, let's show. Right, cool, legends. Enough talking over here. I can go through the comments in a little bit. Again, let's do some technical analysis. And I want to go on to the 15-minute time frame. Okay. And poof, is that a successful swing failure pattern? Right, we are getting a little bit of acceptance back above this low. We had some nice bullish CVD building up as we were falling. It usually increases the probabilities for a successful swing failure pattern. But I would really like my level to get hit, and I might not get it, right? I might not just get it. Okay, but the one thing I want to see over here is that where are we getting the bounce at the moment? Not really tapping a proper FIP level. Bit concerning to not tap a proper FIP level. You at least want the 50% to be tapped, or the 618, or the 786, okay? Not ideal to not tap a proper FIP level with this insane bully CVD that's building up at the moment, but you are getting a reaction from the low. So I would say if price can find itself above the 382, that would be bullish, okay? As long as it's trading below the 0.382, not too interested. I know that there's bully CVD, and there's a chance that you could successfully swing failure from the low based on the bully CVD, but I'm not convinced. I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Okay, with good risk management, I always say any trade is a good trade with good risk management. If you've entered with 1% of your capital, you've got your stop loss in place, your position will not be liquidated, right? Even less than 1% of your capital, right? A trade is a good trade with good risk management. Okay, cool, legends. Now, okay, this structure, yes, it looks interesting, but there's a couple of good things and bad things about this structure. Okay, there's a couple of good things and bad things about the structure. I do like this structure a little bit more, okay? I don't like to just look at a structure in isolation without considering the bigger structure from where it came from. So in saying that, the one thing I want to point out is that if you take a FIB, okay, let me switch these trends off. Let's work with the clean chart over here. You take a FIB from this low to the high. Where we got the bounce was at the level that I discussed yesterday here in the live stream. 0.618. That's where we got the bounce. Inside of the golden pocket. Not the golden zone, the golden pocket. This is the golden zone. That is the golden pocket between the 0.618 and the 0.66. Okay, and this was a level that we discussed yesterday. So if I go here onto the 30-minute time frame, I just want to get a little bit more price action into the screen, and I switch on the VRVP. Wait for that to load up. Takes a while. Okay, let's just look at this price action over here. Okay, we identified these high volume nodes in confluence with the 0.618 and that little pivot that was a little bit far away, but we got the acceptance back above. This was the trade that I highlighted yesterday even with the Legends Pro community. I said, guys, when price was trading up here, I said, if we come back down, this is the highest probable bouncing area that I do see, because I did a private update to the Legends Pro community just before I went to bed. I said, it needs to bounce over here, or it's most likely going to bounce over here. And it did get the bounce. There was also a daily level, right? You guys remember there was a daily level, high volume node. I was looking at the pivot, the 0.618 pocket, and we got a nice little bounce here to the upside. So that was a good longing zone. And I'm not sure if any of the pro community got into that trade because I was sleeping. It was 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning when this happened. Okay, so I did not get into this long, unfortunately. But if price continues to dump to the downside, there's actually a... I don't know if we're going to get there, legends, but it's a level worth talking about. Is the 786. I would like price to come to the 786, stop out all the early longs, in preparation for the summit, crypto summit that's going to happen in a couple of hours from now, right? I can just imagine how much FOMO this pump has now created in anticipation of the crypto conference, because, you know, people have got that mentality of sell the news, okay? Buy the news, sell, buy the news, and then you sell after. Tripping over my words over there. So there's potentially a lot of FOMO inside of this pump at the moment, okay? It would be nice if we are going to get bullish momentum to the upside to go and claim the highs. Why not just stop them out, all the early longs, and then you continue to the upside? So it's definitely an area of interest. You can also see you have a high volume node and you have a point of control inside of this range. Okay, that little point of control inside of this range is where the most amount of volume was traded. So if price continues to fall to the downside and we keep on slicing here to the downside, okay, before maybe the bullish news comes out today. So I'm now speculating on what if tonight is bullish, but we do continue to fall to the downside. I really like this level over here. It has a high volume node. It's a 786. It is a point of control, definitely an area where I will pay attention. And it's basically a swing failure from this low, which still keeps the structure intact from a bullish perspective. Okay, hope that makes sense. This is the long that I'm waiting for, but I might not get it, because even with the drop that we're seeing now here to the downside, I can see that there's massive bullish CVD building up, which tells me that retail is more interested in shorting at the moment than the bullish continuation here to the upside. Okay, so that is the long zone, legends. Obviously, okay, like I always say, if there's no reaction in terms of it slows down, you get acceptance back above the level, no trade. If I am awake and we do bounce at that level, okay, I'm either going to get stopped out, or I'm not going to enter the trade, or I'm going to be stopped out at break even, or it's going to be a massive success here to the upside. But I can tell you guys now, if I see this price action, okay, I will attempt a long, even if I'm a little bit late, even if I enter over here and my stop loss is below the low. I want price to trade above my area of interest if I'm looking for a long. I will not enter a long as long as we're trading below my area of interest. Okay, very important. That is how you protect your cash. You have to see the reaction. You have to know where to put your stop loss, and you have to enter with good risk management in terms of how much capital you deploy in that trade. No silly things of going in with your entire portfolio at 100x leverage. Okay, you're just asking for liquidation. Right, cool, legends. So that is the longing zone. But now the question is, what if this was the low? We're not going to hit my favorite area, because last night this was my favorite area. Today this is my favorite area because we already tapped it. Okay, but what if this is the low and this is a retracement for continuation back to the upside, where we're finally going to come and claim the highs and it's just bullish galore here to the upside? We are starting to build nice little bullish CVD. Let me check this out. Okay, there's no bearishness at the moment. It looks like it wants to go the bearish route, but there's no bearishness at the moment. So far, it's a successful swing failure pattern from this pivot that I highlighted just when I started the stream. Remember, okay, don't ever think that this is the entry. Okay, we are day traders. If you have entered over here, you have to take profits when you hit resistance. You have an order block over there. So if price successfully continues here to the upside, that is always a TP1, because it can continue the momentum back to the downside, especially if you're going to form bearish CVD against that little order block pivot. Okay, if I zoom in here, you guys see this pivot, and this is what I'm now checking at the moment, is you see that little pivot over there, and you see the pivots over here on CVD. If price continues to move to the upside and you start forming bearish CVD, okay, on all exchanges, yellow, white, whatever the case might be. It could be a double confirmation, a triple confirmation, and price is still creating a lower high. You could reject and fall back to the downside. You maybe claim that high, okay, and you swing failure from that high based on the bearish CVD as well. So it's never guaranteed that this is, I caught it. I'm not going to take profits. Price reverses on you. No profits in the bag. Okay, cool, legends. But I would like price to come down a little bit lower. Okay. Right. So now, legends, what I want to do is I want to look at this structure. Okay. I know we're going to spend a little bit of time on the smaller time frame, and we're going to look at this structure over here. This morning, when I did my Legends Pro community update, let's go here onto the 5-minute time frame. We can switch off the VRVP and we can clean up the chart ever so slightly. I did move my FIP levels around. Okay, so that's better. Right, so now I want to look at this structure. The one concerning thing that I highlighted with the pro community this morning is to say that I cannot see a 5-wave structure in this move. But I went and I double checked on this 15-second time frame, and you can force count a 5-wave structure in there. I don't like to force count stuff because it feels like you're trying to make it work. Elliott wave theory states that when you zoom out and you cannot see the waves on the larger time frames, like the 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour time frames, and it looks like a 3-wave structure on the larger time frames, it is more than likely a 3-wave structure. Okay, currently getting the bounce here, okay, at the 0.382. Got the acceptance back above the 0.382, typically an area where I would have longed as well, okay? Based on bullish CVD, for the guys that's watched the CVD tutorial, right? High probable SFP area, and now you need to start taking profits, especially that little order block, okay? When you hit that order block. Anyways, got distracted. Where can I have liked to be? I've lost my strain of thought now completely because I saw the pump here to the upside. Okay, cool, legends. So now, I now want to analyze the structure to see that, well, okay, if it's a 3-wave structure, it's most likely a 3-wave structure. But if I go onto, let's go here onto, let me entertain you and take you to the 15-second time frame. Okay. Wait for that to load up. Let's go to that little pump that we created over there. On the 15-second time frame, you could arguably discuss that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not pretty, but you can see a 5-wave structure. It's not pretty at all. Look at how short the 3rd wave is compared to your 1. You have an extended 1st wave, which is already rare, and but the rules have not been broken. The 3rd wave is not the shortest. That is the hardcore rule. Your 4th wave did not go into the territory of 1. So it didn't break any rules, but the fact that I have to zoom into the 15-second time frame to see a 5-wave structure, I just don't like it. Okay, and that's why I'm saying, legends, I would actually prefer if price came back down and claimed this low. Hope that makes sense. But I have to now also give the bulls a chance. What if this is a very deceiving small little time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, and we're not going to claim the low, and we're going to continue moving here to the upside. So let's go back onto the 5-minute time frame. We are creating bullish CVD with this momentum to the downside. Hit resistance and reject it. We didn't even hit the order block. Very, very interesting, right? Okay, but we might still go up. We'll see. Let's see. Okay, so this little structure is, let me see over here. So now you have to count this as a 1. You can count this as a 2. Okay, it balances from a timing perspective, so it ticks the boxes. Now, this is most probably, what is this? Another 1, 2, another 1, 2. But now this can't be another 1-2 because it took the low. So this 1-2 is now being invalidated. See, it's just not a nice bullish structure, legends. It really is not a nice bullish structure. The only way that you could potentially force a count in here, and I'm not going to go and spend hours trying to super analyze this structure on the smaller time frame, is that maybe there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is now making the larger correction to the downside, where you're going to come sweep up this low and find continuation back to the upside. Okay, without going into too much detail over here, this could maybe potentially be a 5-wave structure in a contracting diagonal, and this is now part of the bigger corrective structure that's not going to take the low, and it's going to continue momentum here to the upside. The maximum target for this bullish structure, if we do continue momentum to the downside, is, I want to take this fib out, because now you're looking at this little teeny weeny tiny little structure over here. You take your fib from the low to the high, and your maximum bullish target is the 786. You do have this nice little consolidation area at the 0.618. So if this is a bullish structure to the upside in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is now the corrective structure that is forming over here, you could continue to tumble down here. Maybe you find support by the 0.618, a swing failure from the low, especially if there's massive strength showing from a bullish CVD perspective. Maximum target is the 786. If this zone can hold, this structure can remain bullish and continue to the upside. If you tap the 0.88, you increase the probability of taking the low. So that is the invalidation. That's where the stop loss go. Okay, if you're reading between the lines. Right, cool, legends. Smash up that like. Let's see if we still get the momentum here to the order to the upside. I think if price is going to reject here at the moment, it would be nice to reject here by the order block. Okay, maybe it gets choppy, it rejects, and it falls down. Okay, maybe this will create that ABC, and then it gets continuation to the upside. Okay, this could be the A wave here to the downside. And, you know, legends, and I mean, this is 5 minute stuff over here. Okay, my preferred time frames that I like to trade on, minimum time frame for me is the 15-minute time frame. Okay, from a 15-minute perspective, okay, I'm looking at this. Oops, what did I do? Cancel. Don't change. Right, from a 15-minute perspective, I'm looking at the 786. Over here. Okay. Right. If you did not catch this trade over here, it's really difficult to get in over here, but then you fall back onto this high, this low. Pivot, swing failure pattern, 786, maximum target. If you tap the 0.88, you're most likely going to take the pivot. So if you have not taken the long over here and you're looking for some way to get in, these are your best zones. Okay, that pivot looks juicy. And that is assuming this low is in. If this low gets taken, this is my favorite trade. And this is what I want. I might not get what I want, but I really, really like this level over here. Okay. Cool. That is basically what I see on this structure over here, legends. If I go back here onto the 1 hour time frame, okay, and I go back here onto the line or the little triangle that we're forming over here. If you want to play the break of trend, by all means, okay. So maybe you don't want to get in over here. Maybe you don't want to get in at the 786. Are you then going to wait for the breakout? Okay. The only way that I will play the breakout, because I don't trust a bull flag that where price comes to the bottom, because usually when you break to the upside, it's a fake out and it comes back down and it breaks to the bottom. It grabs the liquidity and it falls back down. So I would definitely rather look for a short over here at the highs. Okay, you have a massive consolidation area here that's going to provide resistance. Okay, you have daily levels there, you have weekly levels there. I think we went through those levels yesterday as well. The strongest area of resistance that we have to the upside is where I have this monthly level. Okay, monthly point of control. If we get a fake out to the upside, let's say price continues and it breaks out, okay, the only way that I will enter this trade is with a retest, because that's where you get the best entry. And depending on how price develops, I will decide where I'm going to put my stop loss below the recent low. Okay, but I am not putting my stop loss down here. There's no chance. I want to see some price action to see if I can get a better stop loss or a better breakout. But I might even be asleep when that happens or busy with other things. But let's see. If I had to play the breakout, if it continues in a straight line to the upside, I will not take the long. If it comes back for a retest, there's bullish CVD forming, I will consider a long, and maybe below one of these lows is where my stop loss will go. But when you play a breakout, you have to trade with less capital because your stop loss is insanely far away from a scalping perspective. Okay, I prefer to get into a swing failure pattern, but there is still another chance to get in over here. And remember, you have to start taking profits when you hit the highs. That is the rule for this strategy. When you break out, you have to take profits by the highs. Don't have to close your entire position. Just pay yourself a little bit. But there is a massive wall of resistance at this monthly point of control. It's not just a monthly point of control. There is a weekly level there. There is a daily level there. There is point of controls, another additional point of controls over here. This, guys, ladies and gentlemen, okay, this is an absolute wall of resistance. And Bitcoin is going to have to do real magic to break through this area successfully. Okay, so if you are in a long, I don't care how bullish the Crypto Summit news is this evening. I don't care how bullish it is. You need to pay attention to this level, especially if you have a long position open over here. Please pay yourself at least over here. Could we break out successfully? Yes, but then you want to see a proper breakout supported by massive green volume, because then you could come down and flip the area into support. But if it's going to do this, you know, these little struggles, it struggles, it struggles. If it's going to do that, it struggles, it struggles, it struggles. That's a sign of weakness. It needs to smash the level and come back and do an RS flip resistance back into support. Okay? I'm not sure if we're going to get that, right, legends? I mean, we have a wall of resistance. Okay, Trump is going to have to like really pull out the stops tonight in the Crypto Summit for Bitcoin to continue with that bullish momentum. Right, cool, legends. There's a weekly level. There's a monthly point of control. You have price action that shows you the resistance. Can you see this long consolidation area? This is resistance, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, this is resistance, and it is going to be a tough nut to crack. But in the same breath, okay, resistance and support levels are made to be broken. So if we do break it, you want to see a hot knife through butter price action. Okay, and it needs to break it properly, not like this. If it starts doing this, if price action, that shows you it's struggling. Okay, if price action starts doing this at this area, it's struggling to break through. That's a sign of weakness, and you could tumble down and even come and eat up all of these lows. Because now you've liquidated all the shorts. I think there's a massive amount of short liquidations in this zone. Okay, when I looked at the liquidity heat map the last time. So you need to see hot knife through butter. If you don't see hot knife through butter and you see that, you're most likely going down. If you have a long entry in the zone, please make sure to pay yourself. Okay, so now we've spoken about the bullish case scenario where price could potentially break here to the upside. Another interesting thing is, and I think Andy has spoken about the scenario as well. I want to go onto the 4-hour time frame. Just look at the structure. Oops. Look at the structure over here. But before I continue, legends, let me go through some comments and just see where the sentiment is at. Ooh. Diagnosis, ABCDE already completed, 4 hour, right? Yes, that is now the bullish case scenario. If price is going to do this, there is a scenario that justifies this move. And yesterday during the live stream, I told everyone the only bullish case scenario that I see is, where's my only bullish case? Only bullish case scenario is this one. And then one of our coaches inside of our Legends Pro community pointed something out very interesting. Mr. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍𝗻, inside of our Legends Pro community, pointed out something very, very, very interesting and said, guys, I found another bullish case scenario. And it was actually so obvious. I can't actually believe myself and Andy didn't pick it up. But this is why we have an amazing community, because we all help each other to identify those levels. Okay, there is another bullish case scenario, which is actually more bullish than the scenario that I've just shown you. And that is the WXY, just looking at it from a different perspective. So it is still the same corrective structure that we have been talking about for the last 2 weeks. It's still the same corrective structure, but instead of putting Y over here, you extend Y to the E wave. Because a Y wave corrective structure can end in a triangle, in a 3-wave up, a 3-wave down, a 3-wave up, a 3-wave down, and the E could potentially be in, where Y is complete and we just rock and roll out of here, where you are most likely going to cut through this resistance like a hot knife through butter. Okay, so there is another bullish case scenario, which is actually more bullish. I don't want to say it's more bullish in terms of how high it can go. I want to say it's more bullish in terms of it can, the corrective structure could potentially already be finished and we could start moving up to go and claim the all-time highs again, if this is the scenario. You have a WXY, the Y ended with a triangle to the downside, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so I'm sure Andy has spoken about the scenario as well, but Mr. 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗽, if you are here in the live stream, well done for identifying this, okay? And I was asking everyone for yesterday, please guys, show me if you can find another bullish case scenario, because the only one that I have is the 3-wave contracting diagonal to the upside. And then Mr. 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗽 came to the party early this morning and he said, Andy Dewald, what about this? Spot on, brother, spot on, well done. Okay. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Yes, that was the phrase that I was looking for. Right, legends, I just need a sip of water over here. Okay, there we go, there we go. Will we gonna see CME gap fully fill before we bounce to the moon from 75k? CME gaps, remember, does not have to get filled. Okay, there's many CME gaps. I'm not sure if I still have. I want to see something over here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. What I want to see over here is I want to go to the CME gap chart, and it's not this one. It's this one. Okay, let's go here onto the 12-hour time frame. I think I did actually spend some time going through all of these CME gaps. Okay, there's a massive CME gap at $20,000 that has not been filled. Can you guys see? I just played around. Massive CME gap at $20,000 that never got filled. This one got filled. Okay, that one got filled because it's a consolidation. Just want to see. But I do think there's also and I'm not going to go back that far. There's also a massive CME gap just below $9,000. Okay, there are, when you know, the one thing I want to highlight, guys, is when you are in a trending market, you do not have to fill CME gaps. When you are consolidating sideways and you create CME gaps in the range, they automatically get filled because price is chopping up and down. Okay, maybe I'm the only peanut in the packet that thinks that CME gaps does not have to be filled, but you know, when you go and back test this, you will see in a trending market CME gaps don't always get filled. So for me, there's not a rule that says a CME gap has to be filled. I think CME gaps gets filled by coincidence because of price needed to go in that direction in any event. And then the CME gap gets filled and people are like, yeah, it was the CME gap. I need more convincing in that area. I'm not a CME gap trader, but when I backtested the CME gaps here on Bitcoin, okay, there's a lot that didn't get filled. Okay, there's another CME gap that didn't get filled. There was one at $20,000 that didn't get filled. Now, for the first time, we've dipped into the CME gap, but it still didn't get filled, and it doesn't have to get filled. Okay, if this is the low and we are going to continue momentum to the upside, we might not ever fill the CME gap, maybe until we make a next bear market to the downside and price does come down this low. We don't know if we're going to go in a super cycle and price might not get here like the 9,000 CME gap. But for me, there's no rule that states that CME gaps has to get filled. Maybe I need to spend some time and go and backtest this properly and go and see and do some data on an Excel spreadsheet and say from every CME gap that has been filled in the history of Bitcoin, what are the probabilities from a ranging perspective and from a trending perspective. And, you know, for me, it's not worth the effort because I'm not a CME gap trader, right? I trade Fibonacci, I trade whatever I use my trading strategy very successfully without worrying about CME gaps. Okay. Cool. I mean, this is also a big CME gap over here, which now got filled, okay, because price is chopping sideways. Anyways, cool, legends. Let's get back here onto the price of Bitcoin. I'm bearish on the orange, man. Dewald, hasn't the bullish CVD been invalidated? Yes, there's a little bit of secret sauce that I don't necessarily always want to spoil the beans, but there's a little bit of secret sauce. The rule is, okay, if you have bullish CVD, let me spill a little bit of secret sauce over here. If you have bullish CVD forming against this pivot while price is falling down and you have bullish CVD, all it means is that most people will see this as an invalidation. As soon as you claim the pivot, you invalidate the bullish CVD. When you backtest it, the probabilities increase that you're going to get a successful swing failure pattern, and then you're going to, until you hit the next resistance area. Okay, so yes, you do invalidate the bullish CVD, but it usually gets a bounce first and then it falls down or it continues. And based on the bullish CVD that was forming before we claimed the pivot, and it has to be a clear pivot, okay? So yeah, that's basically what I want to leave you with. So yes, it does invalidate the bullish CVD, but you usually get a bounce which you can take advantage of. So there's a little bit of secret sauce. Smash up the like button for the secret sauce over here. Right, legends. And you can see that we did hit resistance. Okay, so we got the bounce already. And so, we could by all means now fall down. But you can see at this pivot, we did hit resistance. Look at the resistance over here. So we got the bounce. And if you were sniper and you entered the SFP at the low, you had your stop loss below the low, you protected your position as price moved up. As soon as you hit resistance, you guys can see how you can scalp. I mean, and it is for experienced traders, guys. This is not something that you are going to do successfully the first time, right? But now I see bearish CVD building up. Okay, so yes, the bullish CVD has been invalidated, but you got the bounce. Now against this pivot, you're making bearish CVD. Look at where CVD is, look at where price is. So against this pivot, you're now starting to build up bearish CVD. So very interesting, right? Cool, CME gaps aren't special. If you take any random interval, you'll see they get filled more often than not because any price is more likely to get visited again because we range more than what we trend. I don't know how to pronounce your username, Mr. X. I'll just call you Mr. X. I agree 100% with you. 100%. And this is what I have found in the little bit of backtesting that I have done. In a trending market, CME gaps don't often get filled. in a ranging market, they do get filled because price goes up and down in the same range. So my logic tells me they get filled because price is going up and down in the same range. So they coincidentally get filled. So I'm in the same boat. I'm really in the same boat as you. Okay. Cool, legends. There's also the chance that the Y wave is over here, and now we are still busy with that contracting diagonal that I've spoken about yesterday. So maybe we are still forming that bigger contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and we then off to the races we go. So this scenario is still also intact, the last bullish case scenario that I discussed yesterday, where the Y is finished over here. But now all of the structures has to be 3-wave structures inside of this zone. Okay, and then there's the ultimate bearish case scenario where, okay, simply put, price is coming from the bottom, you're forming a bear flag, and you, even with claiming the high over here, you're rejecting the zone, you can go and claim the low. And that, my friends, will then be a larger, okay, let me take the scribble out, switch this off, and look for my large WXY. Okay, this is this corrective structure, where if price had to take this high over here, which I actually prefer for this structure, because for X to be over here, okay, look at how long, because, you know, in Elliott wave theory, there's a whole section about proportion. Look at how long your W is. It's an incredibly short X. It's one straight line to the upside to create an X. You want to see proportions, okay? This is very, it's a very ugly X wave. So from a bearish case perspective, we still go and complete the X over here. That looks much better. It has a little bit of symmetry to it, for lack of a better word. Then you go down for a larger Y wave or a C wave here to the downside, to then only complete your Y wave. And the first, you know, the first target is $76,000, the 0.618, although it's considered a rare target for a Y wave. Then you have a target at the 1-to-1 extension at $67,000. And then you have another target at $62,000. So this Y wave can get really crazy here to the downside. Okay, if it is a Y wave to the downside, it's going to be either in the $76,000 zone, it's going to be in the $67,000 zone, and or in the $62,000 zone. It would be very strange for the Y wave to stop in between two levels. So everyone's expecting the bounce at $72,000. I think if we come to $72,000, we're most likely gonna bounce back up and come back down until you tap a proper FIP level. Okay, so you either need to SFP from the 0.618 in the zone, not go down a little bit further. If you're gonna start dancing around in between these two levels, you're more than likely going to the next level. Even here, if you're here in between the levels, you're more than likely going to the next level. Okay, because I need to show you guys how beautifully these FIP levels get respected. Because if I take this structure out the way, do I still have it here? Here we go. Okay, if you look at this structure over here, and I do a normal FIP pool, a trend-based FIP pool, from the high of W to the end of W, and I mean, you can move the X there, or you can move the or the X can be there, right? But I mean, look at this. If I put it where the X is at the moment, look at how beautiful the Y wave target gets respected. It tapped the 1.236 to perfection, and then it gets the bounce. It dips a little bit below, but then it gets the bounce. You don't really, you know, usually, and this, you know, this I found from a backtesting perspective. If you tap a FIP level and you get the bounce and you come back down and you are now in between the two levels, it usually goes to the next level, or the next level, or the next level. You wanted to tap the zone, maybe chop at the zone and get a movement away, or fall to the next level. Okay, cool. So based on this scenario that I'm showing you guys right now, is there's also still a chance that Y is finished. or this is the ABCDE, and we're going to rock and roll here to the upside. Okay, cool, legends. Before we continue, remember, down in the description, I've got weeks, 50% cash back. Right, can you guys see that? Or is my head in the way? Let me do this. Okay, I realized yesterday I showed you guys this, but my head was in the way. Okay, there we go. Up to $2,000. Okay, this is what you get. This is what you need to deposit into your features account before you get this. Okay, those are the rules. The Weeks team has confirmed it can take up to 72 hours, between 48 and 72 hours before the money will reflect in your features account. I have received comments, let me just put myself back on here. I have received some comments from legends saying that they have not received their future bonus. It's a scam, they're stealing your money, whatever the case might be. I have been alerted by Weeks that there has been a couple of culprits, and I'm not saying that you are one of those culprits, that even when we had that $100, $300 promotion running, people committed fraud. People used 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts to take advantage of that $100 deal so that they can get $600 or $700 and trade with multiple accounts. And this system flagged some people for fraudulent activity. You will not qualify for those bonuses. Okay, so if you're trying to jippo the system, if you're trying to create multiple accounts to try and take more advantage of the deals, okay, the system will flag you as, I don't know how the technicalities work behind the system, but just note, legends, that some of the people that have complained, okay, came back that they were naughty, okay, they were a little bit naughty. I'm not saying you guys are naughty, I'm saying some of the people that have complained are maybe a little bit naughty. And right, legends, it's a legit deal. I have seen many people taking advantage of this deal very successfully. If you deposit money into your features account, maximum 72 hours, the features bonus will reflect. All you need is an email and a password, and I also have 𝗞𝗆 over here. All you need is an email and a password, and you can start features trading. Right, and the more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your account. Just want to see something over here. This competition is done, so I must remove this link. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, the competition can like to be a little bit done. Okay, up to $100,000, depending on how much you deposit and trade. The more you deposit and trade, it's like money raining out of the sky. Money gets airdropped into your features account. 𝗞𝗆, all you need is an email and a password to start trading as well. Okay, right. Why XRP88 dumping? It could be, well, maybe because Bitcoin is dumping here as well. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, maybe it's getting ready for the bullish news a little bit later. Okay, guys, you have to remember from a psychology perspective, okay, if the news is going to, you have to put some psychology behind it as well. The summit has not started. It's only going to start later. So from a psychology perspective, if price is going to rocket to the upside, it doesn't make sense to just do this before the event. There's not much steam left if the event starts over here and then you still continue to rocket. You have to put on that market maker hat, okay? If price is going to pump aggressively to the upside, you first want to see a dump, so that the market makers, the people with the large amounts of cash, can fill up their long bags expecting that bullish news, and then it rockets. People that buy in, okay, before the pump are anticipating the pump, and the market will often dump on you before it pumps. So I am actually in a way grateful for the little dump here to the downside, which tells me that there might be a clue that we are going to get bullish news, which is going to send the price higher to at least come and claim this high. So it is nice for me to see the dump. If price continued to pump over here before the crypto summit and it already broke out, I would have been aggressively looking for shorts. I can tell you guys now, because that actually looks bearish. Have you guys seen CPI data as well? usually the day before the data, or even on the day before the data gets released and price is aggressive to the upside, the news comes out, it dumps. Or price is aggressive to the downside, news comes out, it pumps. It's the market makers getting ready for the move. So the fact that we are dumping now means that we could potentially, the probabilities are higher that we are going to get the breakout. So, and I'm speculating over here, this is not based on technical analysis at all, legends, but I have seen this move play out so many times. I've seen the movie before, and I'm sure you've seen the movie before as well. Okay, you want the price to dump if there is bullish news in the horizon, because that tells you, okay, so they first want to flush out retail, get them out, stop them out, liquidate their positions, and then send it. I would have been very concerned, okay, if price continued and it already broke out. If price continued over here and it already broke out, and the summit is only in a couple of hours from now, to 2 hours from now, I would have said, guys, this is going to be sell the news. This is definitely, there's a higher chance that it's sell the news and we're going to dump. Okay, so maybe there's a little bit of a clue. Let's see how it plays out tonight. Okay, now there was another scenario I wanted to share with everyone. I want to go here onto, was it the... Yeah, let's look at this. I want to go back here onto the line chart. And okay, cool, legends. Another reason, if we continue to dump here to the downside, another reason, okay, there's a chance that you could get a successful swing failure from this low. Okay, you dump to the downside and you get the bounce back up and you're still respecting the trend. You're not losing the trend. And that's why I highlighted this longing opportunity over here on the smaller time frames. Because then you are still, the trend is your friend until the very end, and you're still respecting the trend, and all you did is you came back for a retest and then for continuation to the upside. So there is definitely a longing opportunity over there, and I have gone through this trading setup in the beginning of the live stream. But what I also like about these patterns, okay, we're specifically now talking about this pattern, and I'm here on the line chart on purpose, is that, okay, the line chart shows me the confluence over there. But I've also seen sometimes it likes to create the fake out to the downside. Oh, the bear pattern, the bear flag is breaking down. Retail starts shorting aggressively. We've lost the trend, and then you find support inside of this consolidation area. So it is very common to see a fake out to the downside before you get the real breakout to the upside. It's very common, and it will still keep the A, B, C, D, E structure intact, because all I'm going to do is move my E. Okay, the rule for the A, B, C, D, E that I have is that each high is not allowed, this high is not allowed to take this high. This low is not allowed to take this low. So you might be saying, well, then this low is not allowed to take this low. Okay, this structure is not allowed to take this low. So if it comes down and it does that, I will move my E over there. It's just not allowed to take this low. So if it bounces over there, perfectly fine. Okay, that, guys, you know, that's the zone I'm going to pay attention. Okay, that's definitely the zone I'm going to pay attention to, especially if we continue to drop here to the downside before the summit. If we can get to this zone before the summit, I think there's a higher chance that we're going to get the bounce. Okay, but like I've highlighted, Legends, that is the fake out zone that I love. I love to see a bull flag, a bear flag, okay, whether price comes from the upside or downside. And it's always great to see that initial fake out, and then you get the breakout. Or you get the breakout to the upside, and then you get you first get the, usually you get the fake out first before the true breakout happens. Right, legends, hope it makes sense what I'm saying over here, okay? 84.3 next stop, 84.3 next stop, 84.3 over here. Yes, that's exactly the level that I'm watching as well, legends. So let me go back here onto the candles because people want to see the candles, okay? Is when I take a FIP, just want to go through that scenario quickly over here, okay? It's basically the 786. I want to see us claim that low. You have a naked point of control in perfect confluence with the 786 and you have a high volume. You have a massive amount of volume that was traded inside of this zone over here. Massive amounts of volume. So if we're going to get a fake out, this is the area that you need to pay attention to. Okay. If you claim this low, the ABCDE is invalidated. E is not allowed to claim C. So especially if price comes back down and it claims the low, okay, one could even then argue, well, what if, you know, then we're going to go into maybe the C moves over there, but then you're not allowed to claim that low. It's forming a larger triangle structure. Okay, so, but I mean, that's speculating a little bit far into the future, legends. I first want to see what is going to cook because this is still a valid E if this is C. This entire range that we formed since 28 Feb is been a magnitude of corrective structures. A, B, C, you could even count this as an A, B, C. This is maybe another A, B, C. It's going to be, you know, it's just corrective structures. There's no impulses. And now also, if you put E over here, and this is why I zoomed into this price action over here. If E is in and it's done, and I go onto the 1 minute time frame to look at this structure, okay, this is why I paid so much attention to the structure this morning, is you want to count 5 waves here to the upside. If E is in, you have to start forming impulsive structures to the upside to go higher. You cannot go higher with corrective structures and go and claim the all-time high. So on the smaller time frame, I can force count a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the larger time frames, it looks like a damn 3-wave structure. And that is why I'm saying, legends, there is a chance. Okay, look at the larger time frame over here. I mean, it doesn't even look like a 3-wave structure on the 15-minute time frame. It just looks like a straight line up. I think you actually have to go to the 5-minute time frame to see, okay, now it starts looking like a 3-wave structure. And then on the 1 minute, 15-second time frame, you can maybe count 5 waves in there. Okay, and that's why I'm saying, legends, there's a chance that it could fall. And then everyone's going to say, yes, that was a 3-wave structure. At the moment, the bulls are hoping that maybe this is a 5-wave structure. Okay, and it's formed like a little contracting thing here to the upside in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is part of the corrective structure. Yes, I did say there's our trading opportunity. You claim the low, you get acceptance back above, and we could continue here to the upside. So there is a chance that this could be a bullish impulsive structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is part of the retracement that's going to send us back to all, back to the highs over here. It has a chance, but then also, and that's why I'm saying, legends, I am 50-50. Can this be a 5-wave structure? There's a possibility. Is this a 3-wave structure? There's a possibility. I'm not leaning towards any of the 2 scenarios, but I do know where I'm going to be looking for longs. I will be looking for longs at this pivot, definitely, because this could be an A, B, C here to the downside, and it's going to find upwards momentum. Or it's a 3-wave structure and it's going to come and claim the low. Also, like I've said, legends, the reason I want the low also to be claimed, I can just imagine how much retail got into this pump thinking that, oh, this is the pump for today, the summit crypto, Trump is going to be bullish, everyone's going to be buying Bitcoin flowing out of their ears. Okay, they're getting ready, they're buying up, they're buying up, they're buying up. It would be nice for market makers to say that, Okay, now that we have everyone's stop losses here below the low, everyone that has been buying up the momentum here to the upside, let's go and wipe them out and then let's send it. Okay, and we fill our bags using their liquidity. It's the scenario that I would like to play out, and it does make sense from a psychology perspective and also from a technical perspective. But let's see. I want to see CVD. I want to quickly refresh it over here. Just want to look at this structure. Is there a chance? Okay, so legends. One thing I do want to point out over here. Looking at CVD, can everyone see that? My head's not in the way. Okay, let me drag it a little bit to the left-hand side. It's going to recover at some point anyway. One task tell, one joke. Okay, when I look at this pivot, one could argue that we already have bullish CVD building up on white. Okay, yellow, almost, not yet. But on blue, we have bullish CVD, but now this is where it becomes interesting. You also have bullish CVD on blue between those two pivots. The target was the high, we took the high. Theory states that once you have formed bullish CVD against a specific pivot and it played out, the high was taken, any other bullish CVD against the same pivot becomes weaker. The probabilities decrease that even if price falls down and you still make bullish CVD against the same pivot, because there was already bullish CVD, the probabilities of the bullish CVD playing out becomes lower. So it could still play out, but it doesn't have a high probability anymore because we already formed bullish CVD on blue. Can you guys see that? Okay, let me just clean it up, show you. I'm not sure if I can zoom in so that everyone can see more clearly. Look at that. Lower low on CVD, higher low on price action. The target was the high. We already took the high. This bullish CVD played out to perfection. But the bullish CVD was taken against this pivot. So there's now already a bullish CVD against this pivot that did what it was supposed to do. So therefore, if you get bullish CVD against the same pivot, the probabilities becomes weaker that it will play out again. But I mean, the market is here to surprise us. It's just all, theory, a game of probabilities. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, so at least what I would like to see, based on what I've just told you, I want to see if we successfully swing failure from this low. If price gets down below and it starts trading above, I will attempt along with good risk management. If price moves in my favor, I will protect my position. If I get stopped out, and I did protect my position, if price did move in my favor, I won't lose any cash. I can enter multiple trades and get stopped out at break even without losing money. Sometimes I do take losses. Price doesn't move in my favor, it just moves down. And then I take the loss, but I take an insignificant loss. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting to see if this structure can remain bullish and we get the bounce. My preferred scenario is claiming the low and bouncing on the 786 level, looking at the larger structure. But we need to pay attention because I don't want to highlight the 786 here. And then this happens. And then everyone's like, but Dewald, why did you not, identify this longing opportunity? Well, there you go. There you go. If this is a bullish structure, this is your longing opportunity. But I do like, I have to stress, I do like $83,000, 577. That is the zone that I like the most. Okay, so I don't mind getting stopped out of this trade, knowing that we could take the low and bounce over here. Okay. Legends, I think I've gone through most probably every single scenario over here. I've gone through the bullish case scenario, the bearish case scenario. Obviously, Legends, there's always that, Dewald, why didn't you short at 90.91? Could have made a 3x. Why didn't you short from 90? Right, I was busy with other things, but I can tell you guys now, okay, sometimes I don't take trades because I'm doing dishes, I'm making food, I'm doing other things, cleaning the garden, I'm not in front of the chart, or I'm preparing for a live stream, I'm doing research. Sometimes, you know, I do not stare at the chart 24 hours. I need to sleep, I need to eat, I need to take care of other things as well. Sometimes I'm in the gym as well, okay, legends, but I can tell you that if I was in front of my PC and I was actively trading, I would have entered the short at the 786, because this was a zone that I highlighted to the Legends Pro community. Let me show you guys if you don't believe me. Right, let me do this. Let me open up a fresh screen and show everyone. Okay, why didn't I short that level? Well, I was busy with other things, but I did highlight it. In my section, in the Legends Pro community, I highlighted the long that I'm looking for at the 786. Guys, this is the move I want to play to the upside. But I did highlight the short at the 786 in confluence with a 1-to-1 extension. I wasn't in front of the chart, I didn't trade it. If I was in front of the chart, I would have traded it. I said if price continues to the upside, there's another high that I'm looking at the 1.236. So I knew about the trade. Sometimes you just can't enter them all, okay? Yes, good money to be made to the downside. I agree with you, okay? I don't know how to pronounce 𝗬𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗍. You know, you need to trade what you can trade when you are in front of the charts. I do not trade with limit orders. It's not part of my trading strategy. I do know of very successful traders that do trade with limit orders, but it's a completely different trading strategy. Okay, so yes, I knew about the short and I did highlight it to the pro members. And if there are any pro members that took the short based on this trade that I highlighted over there, I did say it would be nice to swing failure from the high, but you don't have to swing failure from the high, because there's your level. There's your 1-to-1 extension. There's your 786. We got momentum to the upside. This was the zone that I was looking for a short. I wasn't in front of the chart. If I was, I would have taken the trade. Okay. Still grinding here to the downside. I just want to see something, legends. I know I'm messing around here on the smaller time frame, but I want to see if I can measure out this corrective structure. Okay, so I want to clean up the kitchen ever so slightly over here. Let's just clean up the kitchen. I want to look at this structure on the 1 minute time frame. I want to see if I can get a correction in there. Is this looks like it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and an A wave, a 3-wave B wave, and it's now completing the C wave to the downside. So let's see. Interesting. Okay. Remember, corrective structures can be measured where it can end. Okay. So what I'm trying to figure out over here is that you want to bounce at the 786. Okay. The most common corrective structure targets. Okay. If this is an A, B, C, 3-wave, okay, when you have an impulse, you have to make a 3-wave corrective structure. And if this is the measurement for the corrective structure, which is a 3-wave structure, the 0.618 and the 786 are very uncommon targets. They are targets, but they are rare. They don't play out often. Maybe 1 out of 10 times you will see a bounce at the 786. Maybe 1 out of 20 times you will see a bounce at the 0.618 from a retracement target perspective. Okay, the most common 7 out of 10 times, even 8 out of 10 times, is the 1-to-1 extension and the 1.236. So if this is impulsive and this is a corrective structure, the 786 together with the 1-to-1 extension is your most common corrective structure target, which is also your maximum 1-2 target. So if we're forming a 1 wave here to the upside, this is 2, and we're going to go up in a 3rd explosive wave. This is the maximum target. And this is now where it becomes a little bit dangerous. This 1.236 is awfully close to the 0.88, which is a very uncommon second wave target. If you tap the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the low. So if we had to just focus on the common targets and we ignore these two targets over here, we ignore these two targets, and we say it's unlikely, maybe it's going to get the bounce and fall back down, okay? And then, you know, and I know what people say, you get the bounce and like, and then you fall down and like, oh shit, okay, right? But that's basically the swing failure pattern from this low. So could we get a bounce? Yes. Could we get a rejection? Yes. Okay, because this is the most common target. This is the most common target. So we could get a successful bounce at the 786. There's a chance we could get a bounce at the 786. It's just not a common target, but it does sometimes play out. But, you know, the 1-to-1 extension together with a 786 FIP retracement is the most common zone to get the bounce if the structure is going to remain a bullish structure. 5-wave impulse in a contracting diagonal. This is the maximum bouncing area. If you're going to come to the 1.236, you increase the probabilities of tapping the 0.88 and taking the low. So you want the bounce to happen here. That's the most common area. That's the level that gets hit most often, 8 out of 10 times. But I have seen the 786, not so much. A WXY structure has a has a target of the 0.618. Okay, this looks like a clean ABC here to the downside, right? 786 is already rare for a C wave, but it becomes a target that at least gets hit maybe 1 out of 10 times, okay? But yeah, guys, so yeah, I said what I needed to say over here. So for this structure to remain bullish, this is your maximum target. That's basically what it boils down to, okay? Cool. And then, you know, it just has to be said, that an extended corrective structure target is at the 1.618, which ironically gets hit more often than these two targets. This one gets hit more often than these two targets, which is going to claim the low. So maybe there's that potential where I said you get the swing failure pattern from the low. Okay. It claims the liquidity. It stops everyone out that's been FOMOing into trades the whole day, stops all of them out. It bounces on that 786 level. It gets acceptance back above. So, right, it's Legends Lakshman. That's what I'm saying. I'm leaning 50-50 today. I'm just showing you guys the structures and I'm showing you the levels that you need to pay attention to. Okay. Right. Smash up that like button for the education, for the alpha over here. Let's go through a little bit more comments. Yes, Mr. Junior, smash up that like button. Buffering. Oh, okay, cool. Right. Powell is speaking, so get ready for the dump. Okay. Well, maybe Powell is going to send the price down and then maybe the crypto summit is going to push it right back up. Okay. My preferred scenario, Legends, is to go down. Okay, that's my preferred scenario, and I would love to see my scenario play out because that could potentially spell a little bit of bullish continuation. Okay, I would like for price to continue to the downside and bounce here. It would be nice to claim that low. Okay, that is my highest probable trade. The fake out, okay, wherever you can just imagine retail people that's just starting to trade. They're trading the pattern, okay? It's breaking down. We need to short, and then it finds support, and it breaks back up, and then you have the true breakout to the upside. But anyways, Legends, I have spoken about the scenario extensively now. You know what are the levels that I'm watching, okay? There is a long inside of this structure still if we hit this zone. There is a long inside of this little structure if we do not go past the 786 that we've just spoken about. Okay, so there's a longing opportunity. There's a longing opportunity. Right. Where price is at the moment, I'm not interested. It's just not my style. Right. Okay, cool. Smash up that like button for the education, Mr. Junior. Welcome here to the live stream. Hey, Dewald, what do you think of money flow indicators like market cipher? It looks really bearish on the 1 and 2 day time frames. Yes, I used to use those things in the past. So what's the best way to explain it? Okay, because I often get questions about what about this indicator, what about that indicator. I can tell you guys now, like most of you out there, I have tried every single indicator that I could get my hands on. I used RSIs, I used moving averages, I even bought Lux indicators that cost me an arm and a leg for the subscriptions per month. I joined other people's communities, Discord channels, okay, MACDs. There's so many things that I've used. And when you start perfecting your trading strategy, you start realizing that you don't need this indicator anymore. You don't need this indicator anymore. Okay, less is more for me. Less is more. And what I have found is I used to even have 2 trading view pages open of the same chart of Bitcoin. The one would have all the damn indicators that everyone is trying to sell me and, MACDs, moving averages. And the one chart, I only had the price of Bitcoin with no indicators. And I had more success trading only the price action than using the indicators, because I've realized that indicators can make you numb. It can confuse you, especially if you're using a lot of indicators, because they start contradicting each other and then you don't know which indicator to believe. So if you can incorporate 1 or 2 indicators as part of your trading strategy that complements your profits and your win rate, by all means. Okay, so I guess the point that I'm trying to make over here is I have most probably looked at every single indicator that people are mentioning over here. I have most probably forgotten about half of them. And if you show me, I'll be like, yeah, I remember. But on the market cipher thing, okay, I don't need to look at market cipher to determine bearish or bullish case scenarios. Okay, I trade the levels to levels. I look at the price action, and I can tell you guys now that there was many indicators that showed that this could potentially be a bouncing area. And I also identified the bouncing area without looking at any indicator. There was a 200-day moving average. There was most probably a bullish MACD that flashed somewhere, or this thing flashed buy, whatever the case might be, or you use the 200 EMA. But we as a community, myself, Andy, the Legends Pro community, we knew that this was a high bouncing area. I didn't need to use any other indicator to know that we're going to get a bounce over here. I didn't need to use an indicator to know that we need to short that level. Okay, so I'm not saying that indicators don't work. I'm just saying that for me, I don't need to use other indicators. So I know that there could be something that's flashing bearish. There could be something that's flashing bullish. I don't care. Okay, because I don't need those things to be profitable. It's interesting, definitely, it's interesting to look at those things, but I don't need it. Okay, and I'm not saying that you don't need it. I'm saying that you need to find the indicator that complements your trading style. Okay, and if you're using 100 indicators and your chart looks like an absolute spaghetti mess, you're most likely still not a profitable trader. Because I have seen profitable traders. The first thing I always look at from a profitable perspective, the first thing I look at, if a trader has a clean chart and he has very selective levels and he primarily looks at price action, he's most probably a successful trader. And people that I have seen with very messy charts, like just shit everywhere on the chart, all the indicators are flashing and they've got everything active, okay, they are still struggling. They're still struggling. They're still trying to figure out everything. Okay, cool. Just a little bit of a piece of my mind over here. Yeah, all the indicators are too confusing. Definitely. Okay, definitely. Right, Legends, aggressively falling here to the downside at the moment. Okay, aggressively falling. What I just have to point it out. So from a CVD perspective, okay, we do have bullish CVD. Okay, we have bullish CVD on yellow, we have bullish CVD on white, but remember what I've told you. Yes, we could get the bounce, but there was already bullish CVD against this pivot from this pivot on blue. So the probabilities in having bullish CVD against this pivot has reduced to claim the high, already played out. So could we get the bounce? Yes, remember the 786 target together with the 1-to-1 extension that I've just shown everyone. We could get a bounce and you could enter with good risk management, and if you get stopped out, you could even get stopped out at break even if you just know how to manage your risk. Okay, cool. What is Link doing? Oh, Link lost trend. Okay, I've got some alarms going off here. I was looking at GRT as well. GRT still looks strong. I was looking at AR. Oh, AR looks like it's coming back for a retest. Okay, obviously, with Bitcoin takes a fall to the downside, it drags everything down with it. Okay, I showed my friends your video in which you discuss about if you should leave your 9-to-5 job for trading, and they found it extremely helpful. The rolling walnut. Thank you so much. Is it that tutorial that I made on my tutorial section? Or it was, I know I speak about it so many times, it could have been a live stream as well. Okay, but I'm glad you found it interesting. Market structure is king. Nuxes? Definitely, right? The easiest reversal to identify in a market is simple market structure change. If you spend more time studying price action and less time on indicators, you will be a better trader. I can tell you now. If you can master price action, okay, and volume. This is why I have volume. I always look at volume as well. Sometimes not even the volume, okay? If you can master the price action, read the candles, identify support and resistances successfully using price action, you will be a better trader already by trying. I think too many people focus on mastering the indicator, and very few people actually stick on mastering the price action. So make it a challenge. And one of the challenges could be, I'm going to switch off all my indicators and I'm going to master price action for the next month. I'm just going to look at price action. I'm going to put in my support and my resistance boxes. I'm going to look at wicks. I'm going to go study the candles, go study up candles. You know, the spinning tops, the hammer candles, go study everything you can about candles. Learn to successfully identify support and resistances. See how price reacts when it hits those levels. I think you will have way better success studying price action without using any indicator. I think that is a big step in the right direction. Okay. Right. Cool, legends. Let's get on. S&P 500 is dumping. The market structure beats Elliott wave every time. Well, market structure is Elliott wave. Okay. I agree with you. If you know market structure, yes, it's definitely good. It's a great step in the right direction. But this is why I got interested in Elliott wave theory, because the market structure tells me where the waves are going from an Elliott wave perspective, and where the invalidations are, your bull flags, your bull flags, your head and shoulders patterns, your diamond patterns. It all fits in Elliott wave theory. If you understand Elliott wave theory, you start understanding where the patterns came from. Patterns comes from Elliott wave theory. People apply the patterns in the wrong places. This is why the pattern failed. So the pattern actually never fails. It's you've placed the pattern in the wrong structure. If you try and do a head and shoulders in the middle of a third wave to the upside, you are going to fail every single head and shoulders pattern. If you apply a head and shoulders pattern on the top of a fifth wave or at the bottom of a C wave, it will always break out where it's supposed to break out. So the reason people say that a pattern has a probability of playing out is because they're using the pattern in the wrong place. So all of these things actually comes nicely together when you start studying Elliott wave theory. Anyways, that's just what I wanted to say over there. 50 market structure, yes, cool. Some people will argue it's liquidity that drives the game, okay? But I mean, market structure change is it's one of the most, it's one of the, you know, not the most, but it's one of the important things that you need to study. I often still see as people struggle with market structure change. You need to, if you can correctly identify market structure changes, okay, you will be a much better trader. Right, legends. Now, market structure trading gives you more defined levels, where Elliott wave is much more subjective. Yes, and I mean it's what works best for you. I'm not saying that Elliott wave theory is better, not at all. Okay, maybe the key is in knowing a little bit about everything so that you can put the puzzle better together. Maybe that's the key. But you can be a very, very, very successful trader if you master one trading strategy and you've mastered it. You don't jump around. It could be trend lines, it could be swing failure patterns, it could be market structure, it could be volume trading, it could be harmonics, it could be anything. Okay, but if you can master it, you will be a successful trader. I think people jump around between trading strategies because they got stopped out twice and now they think the trading strategy doesn't work. But it, yeah, let me not say that word. I think we bottomed. Or what do you think, Dewald? Okay, cool, guys. Yeah, let's go here on to. Let's go here onto the 5-minute time frame. And now, are we at the 0.618? Yes, I mean, we did successfully SFP, and for the pro members out there, okay, they must probably in the long already with good risk management. Legends, I can't trade while I'm doing a live stream. I need to focus. Okay, I have tried to trade while I'm doing live streams. I mess up. Okay, I put in the wrong amounts. I put my stop loss at the wrong places sometimes. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. I've just decided I'm not going to place any trades while I'm, you know, presenting a live stream. Right, but that is your 0.66 level over there, golden pocket. You know, you're starting to get acceptance back here above the 0.618. But the most important level was the low. You dip below that low and you get acceptance back above, you enter like a sniper. Your stop loss is below the low. Now price is moving in your favor, you protect your position. Or you could be a trader that leaves your stop loss. There are pros and cons to each scenario over here. I am a type of trader that likes to protect my stop loss. Even if I get stopped out, I will re-enter the trade. I'm a very persistent trader. Some people get scared when the stop loss hits and they are too fearful to enter the trade. So that's why you need to learn so much about yourself. Are you fearful? Are you persistent? Can you re-enter after you've taken a knock? You know, what type of person are you? But yes, that is the long entry right over there. Okay, claim of the lows. I do think it can go lower, right? But it's worth an attempt with good risk management because you can now potentially have a free trade. If price continues here to the upside, you have a free trade. You got in like a sniper, you protected your position, and you could even go and claim the highs, and then we have that $95,000 momentum here to the upside. Okay? Or you could be a trader that says, okay, I got in, my position is already protected, but I am going to take profits when we hit resistance. Where's my... I've opened the wrong thing over here. Okay, I'm going to take profits when I hit resistance. Okay, you have a couple of resistance boxes over here, right? That one is not relevant. I mean, yeah, this is your most obvious resistance box over here. Okay, so you could be the type of trader that says, I don't care about the high. I just want to get in and get out. I'm done. If price falls down and it comes to another area of interest, I'm going to enter another long. It goes up, I get out. You know, you could be that type of trader. I often like to do this. This is me sometimes, very often. I like to get in and get out and look for next trading setup. Then I will most probably short. If there's a level that I can short, I will also play the momentum to the downside. If I have a level and I have a plan to the downside, I will enter again. And I will take profits again when you hit resistance. Okay. Right, legends. Now, okay, that's in a nutshell. I think I've basically gone through everything here on Bitcoin, legends. There's not much else to discuss here at the moment. Let's see what Jerome has to say. Oh, it's Jerome, so we're going to get some volatility over here. Let's see what Jerome is going to say. And not much else, guys. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you would like me to discuss or give you my opinion on, personal question, I'm opening up the floor to the legends over here. And while you guys post your having patience is king, definitely, definitely. Right, legends, the exchanges that I use for my daily trading is Weeks and Bluffin. All you need is an email and a password, right? Have your pick. Why not both? I trade on both exchanges because I like to diversify my funds. If anything happens to any of these exchanges, I don't want to be in a position where I can't trade anymore, like what happened to FTX. This is why I diversify. Okay, with Weeks, you get 50%. Right, you get, this is what you need to deposit, and this is what you will get. So you basically get up to $1,000. For $2,000 into your features account, it will take up to 72 hours and the money will reflect and you can trade with it. Right, and then on Bluffin, I have, let me just put my face back here. Okay, Bluffin, all you need is an email and a password, and the more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your account. If you are able to verify, Bybit is still one of my favorite exchanges. I do a lot of trading still on Bybit. More swing trades and spot positions. I'm not an active day trader on these exchanges, and 𝗖𝗍𝗃 is still one of those exchanges with the lowest trading fees. Okay, but I must say these three are my favorite. Okay, I don't really do a lot of trading these days on 𝗖𝗍𝗃 anymore. Okay, I like Bybit, Bluffin, and Weeks for my day. These are my 2 day trading exchanges, and I organize you guys the best deals. And right, and it's also your way to support the channel. It costs you nothing extra. And also, if you'd like to come and join our Legends community, we have a free section and we have a paid for section, right? Both offer incredible value. Okay, free section, you surrounded by like-minded people. You get research that gets dropped 3 times a day, where they basically summarize all the news into one document. You get some trading setups. Okay, obviously inside of the paid community, that's where myself and Andy and the coaches, drop daily alpha. I do live streams. The coaches do live streams. Andy provides his analysis. You get access to the master class that teaches you everything that you need to know to get started in trading and to be successful. Okay, right, cool. What else? Okay, now, where would alts be if BTC goes lowest than 78k now, sir? Scared of alt bag? It is such a difficult question to answer because you don't know what dominance is going to do. Guys, it's really a difficult question to answer because I just have to say, from a good news perspective, this is dominance, right? I have seen in the past, Amu, this is a very good question, okay? I have seen in the past where Bitcoin looks extremely bearish and Bitcoin falls, but dominance falls aggressively to the downside as well. And then you go and look at your altcoins and they did almost nothing. They actually, they did retrace, but they retraced way less than even Bitcoin from a percentage perspective. Or they actually bounced on a bullish target. Maybe, it went up and it came back and it bounced on the 0.618. Okay. I have seen Bitcoin take a dump to the downside. Dominance drops with Bitcoin and it protects the alts. The opposite can also happen. Bitcoin can drop and dominance goes up, and that bleeds out the altcoins. So the answer to your question is, I don't know. It depends on dominance. Is dominance going to protect the bullish structures of the altcoins, or is it going to invalidate the bullish structures? No one knows. And this is why you have to have an invalidation where your stop loss is, and you need to know where you're going to take profits, and you need to let the trade play out. Bitcoin has often, when I started out trading and I started, and I traded some altcoins, Bitcoin has often caught me out on some of my altcoin trades. sometimes I will see like Bitcoin is just, it's going to, the probability of Bitcoin falling is like 90%. And then I cash out my altcoin positions. Bitcoin's going to fall. And then Bitcoin falls. And then I look at my altcoins that I've cashed out and I'm like, they did nothing. And they actually started pumping. As Bitcoin, took the dump and it started consolidating, the altcoins started pumping. And that's where I learned the lesson from someone that told me, Dewald, trade the chart in front of you. If your altcoin is showing a bullish structure and it's coming down for a retracement, don't care what Bitcoin's doing. Don't care what the 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗫 is doing. Don't care what the S&P 500 is doing. Trade the chart in front of you. So and then I just stopped looking at Bitcoin when I'm trading an altcoin. I will trade the altcoin in front of me. I will know exactly where I'm going to put my stop loss. I know exactly where I'm going to take profits. And I don't care what Bitcoin's going to do. I might have a long open in one of my altcoins, and I might even have a short open on Bitcoin. And some people will say, well, that's crazy. How do you long an altcoin, but you've got a short open on Bitcoin? I'm like, because I'm trading the chart in front of me. The altcoin is showing me that it wants to go up. Bitcoin is showing me that it wants to go down. And it's also happened to me where both trades play out. I get the short on Bitcoin and I get the long on the altcoin because I'm trading the chart in front of me. So maybe I've given you too much information to try and answer your question, okay? But the simple answer is I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to the alts. What I can tell you is if I look at a token like AR, okay, on the daily time frame, AR is telling me that the structure is still intact. AR has a low, it has a high, and this looks corrective in a three-wave structure. This looks very corrective. And it has not tapped even the 786. Okay. 786 is the maximum area where I want AR to start finding support. So I don't care what Bitcoin is doing. I'm looking at this structure. I have a clear invalidation and I know where I want to start buying. I have to give the structure the benefit of the doubt. I don't care where Bitcoin is going. Some people say Bitcoin is going to $72,000. Some people say Bitcoin is going to $68,000. I don't care. What if Bitcoin does go to $68,000 and AR bounces perfectly here on the 786 and it starts moving up because dominance keeps on dropping? What if? You just don't know. I need to trade the chart in front of me and I should not care what Bitcoin is doing. When I trade Bitcoin, I have my shorting levels. Okay, this is the short that I highlighted this morning in my update. I have a short. If you did take that short, congratulations. And and I also have my longing opportunities. I like the 786 here a little bit more than the 618, but it's still a good long opportunity with good risk management. So I trade the chart in front of me. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dewald. Bene Loops, absolute pleasure, man. What are your thoughts on comparing USDT dominance with BTC as it works inverse most of the times? Yes, again, I think I've answered the question. Okay, I know if dominance drops, crypto goes up because money flows out of USDT into crypto. I just don't want to fall into that trap again where I'm not trading the chart in front of me because, guys, there was a phase where I went through. I would chart the S&P 500. I'm charting the 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗫. I'm charting dominance, USDT dominance, total 3, total 2, total 1, and NASDAQ. I used to chart all of these charts that took me hours every day just to try and figure out if I should long or short Bitcoin. Oh, that was a lot of work, guys. That I cannot tell you how much work that was and how draining it is. And then they start contradicting each other. 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗫 is bearish, this one's bullish, and then you go into analysis paralysis and you don't know what to do. Okay. And that's where one of the highly successful traders that I met during that phase told me, Dewald, what the hell are you doing? Why? Yes, it's interesting to look at the 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗫 because maybe you're just curious. You want to see what the 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗫 is doing. You want to see where total 3 is. But it says that's larger time frame things. Those are weekly things. Those are daily time frame things. It's things that takes months, days to play or weeks to play out. It says just look at this. Trade this. Don't care about the others. Just trade this. Just trade this. If you have a shorting level, take the short. If you have a longing level, take the damn long. Don't care about the, and it really helped me a lot. I can tell you guys now, it really helped me a lot. What are your thoughts on comparing? Okay, I've gone through that. Check ENA, holding crazy. Okay, altcoin requests. Cool, guys. I know that someone has asked me for Theta, so I quickly want to have a look at Theta. Still got Link, checking out Link over here. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not in any trade here on Link at the moment, just FYI. But let's look at Theta, because I'm also curious. I want to see where Theta is. I do have a bag, a small little bag of Theta. Okay, let's look at Theta here on the daily time frame. And remember, guys, all of these altcoins can be traded on Bluffin and on Weeks. You get the best deals by signing up with the links down below. Okay, so the 112 has been invalidated. Okay, I like this. I like the support over here, and we could even narrow it down, and that is a critical support area. Or let me not say critical, let me use the word strong. Okay, this is a strong support area. This is just normal support and resistances. Okay, price leaves a zone, it comes back for retest. Yeah, you need to pay attention. Price leaves the zone, it comes back. You need to pay attention. Okay, this is where the selling pressure gets exhausted. Massive support. Right, I'm not going to go and try and count this from an Elliott wave perspective. This could be a WXY. This could be a WXY. This could be, let me see, 1, 2, 1, 2. But now I just need to zoom into that structure. Is there a chance for Theta to rock and roll here to the upside where no one saw the possibility? Now this structure is going to become, this FIB retracement is going to be the key. Oh, okay, it doesn't look good, but it's not invalidated. Theta tapped to 0.88. So if I'm speculating on a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's going to absolutely just melt faces here to the upside, it's not allowed to take the low. So the scenario is not invalidated. You could still get a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it rock and rolls here into a third wave to the upside that can even take you to $10, $15 on Theta. The only invalidation, hardcore invalidation, is not allowed to take this low at 89 cents. It does decrease the probabilities of the scenario playing out because it tapped a 0.88, but it's not been invalidated. Okay, that's what happened on DOT. Okay, I can show you guys on DOT as well. DOT literally did exactly the same thing, and it rampaged to the upside because it did not invalidate the scenario, and the scenario still played out. I remember it like it was yesterday because I did that analysis on DOT. Okay, if it does take the low at 89 cents, then this becomes an impulsive structure, and this is most probably part of a larger WXY ABC structure, okay, where you now want to take your FIB from this low over there, and then you want this 786 to hold, because this could be a ABC WXY 3-wave corrective structure, and then it starts finding momentum back to the upside where this is 1, 2, and it goes up for a third wave. It's not as bullish as a 112, but you could still find significant upwards momentum. But then the 786 needs to hold, and then the same rule of probabilities apply. If you tap the 0.88, you increase the probabilities that the scenario could still be intact for a third wave, but you increase the probabilities once you tap the 0.88 that you're going to take the low. So there's a chance for a 1-2-1-2, but you have tapped the 0.88. Or there's a chance for a 1-2-3 here to the upside. Should not tap the 0.88. Okay, so The bullish structures, and this is why I'm telling you guys, the bullish structures on most of the altcoins that I've looked through this morning and during the week and so forth are still intact. This is an insanely bullish structure. This is insane. To stop here and get a third wave to the upside is an insane bullish structure. There's another alternative which is still a bullish structure but not as insane. And then there's the bearish case scenario. If you tap the 0.88, you're going to claim the low. So also, if you're asking the question, well, what if Bitcoin falls to $60,000? Okay, just tanks to the downside, right? Maybe, you know, some of these altcoins will still find support in the zone and not claim the low so that the bullish structures are still intact. If these altcoins take these lows that they have formed with these structures to the upside, if they take these lows, then it's going to look really bad. You could still get a bounce, but it has to build the structure again to get a third wave. And it's the third waves you want to trade. Okay, this is still significant, but it's not that face melting price action. The same thing with Link. The same thing with AR. It's exactly the same thing at the moment. Okay. Link I discussed yesterday as well. Link has a much better 112, way better. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Look at where it is. It's only at the 0.618. This looks, it still has so much breathing room. If Bitcoin had to fall to $70,000, $68,000, it's most likely still going to be, yeah, at a bullish target. 1, 2, 1, 2, go, but you know, let's go here to the upside. Link looks incredible. It still has a lot of breathing room, and even if Bitcoin tumbles to the downside, it will still most likely keep the bullish structure intact. Okay, so that's why I am loving Link at the moment. You know, I'm looking at the altcoins that still have very strong structures to the upside, where 𝗖𝗍 is hanging on by a thread. It's either going to be very bullish, maybe it's going to be a little bullish, or it's just going to be getting validated. Okay, so 𝗖𝗍 is like, it's hanging on, but I see there's a lot of altcoins that's hanging on by a thread. So it's almost like Bitcoin needs to make a move for the altcoins to keep their bullish structures intact. Okay, but Link still has a lot of breathing room. I mean, massive support. I mean, you know, look at this. Massive support. You traded below this level. Okay, you got acceptance back above, and now this looks like a RS flip. So even if Link comes down back into the zone, this is the zone that you need to pay attention. $12 is still a very bullish zone for Link. Okay. Right. Let's go through some more comments. Hi, Dewald. Can you take a look at DYDX, please? Let's go. SUI price chart analysis. I only look at, sorry guys, I know there's a lot of altcoins requests coming through. I am unfortunately running out of time, so maybe I can do one more or two more. Let's see. I only look at CVD, fin levels, and the volume trade, just that it's enough to make nice gains. VM, yes, exactly. Love to hear that. Really, that's a good strategy. Never try to front run any coin. You know, there's also a saying in trading that says, wait for price to come to your area of interest. Don't trade to the area of interest. You know, very powerful saying. Okay, so, we lost the level. We lost the level here on Bitcoin. Right, legends, I want to pick an altcoin over here. I know there's a lot of requests coming through, but let's pick an altcoin over here. All right, everyone, let's pump Dewald's heart with chocolates by smashing up that like button. It's free and no KYC. Yes, absolutely. Right. How many likes do we have? 168 likes. Oh, I'm quite impressed by the likes, I must say, considering the amount of people watching the stream, but I know we can always do better. I know we can always do better. If there's a like left in that finger, why not share it here on the live stream? Okay, cool. Let's choose. ADA, please. Injective. I think based on the crypto summit that's happening tonight, I've had a lot of requests for one of those coins, and it's not XRP. Okay, it's not XRP. The coin that people have asked me the most to analyze has in actual fact been this little bad boy over here. So let's go and have a look at ADA. And if there's still a little bit more time, maybe I can go and look at another one. Okay, so let's do ADA. A lot of people are very interested in ADA. And I think it's because it's one of the tokens that's on the list for the crypto summit. And Charles is also going to be there. Okay. Let's go on to the daily time frame. Let's look at Mr. Oh, this is GRT. I was like, this does not look like ADA. It doesn't look as bullish as ADA. Sorry, guys. I am smoking my socks over here. Let's do this again. ADA. Okay, that looks better. Much better. Well. This could be the 112 that's already starting to play out over here. So the one thing I just want to quickly point out before I go through all of the structures is that if there was any bearish structure here to the downside, which there was, this bearish structure to the downside has now been invalidated to continue to the downside because of how high this high went. This cannot be part of a corrective structure. This needs to be part of an impulsive structure back to the upside. Okay? Because, and I'm going to bring up market structure again. When you have a high and you start forming a lower high and you have lower lows, market structure has now been broken. Ever so slightly. So now what you want to see is you've already made a high, a higher low, and now you have broken this market structure. It basically invalidates, even from an Elliott wave perspective, impulses to the downside. Okay? If you have impulses to the downside in a 5-wave structure, and you do this, you start claiming the highs, you invalidate further impulses back to the downside. Okay, and this is now what's happened. It's actually claimed that high over there, but it's the easiest way that I can explain it is that it's starting to change market structure. Very interesting zone where it has found support. There's also a very interesting zone over there, okay, where it actually found support. But you can see at the highs, it's flipping these highs into support. So it lost it with a corrective structure. It found support in this zone, almost at the 786. Almost. Remember, that's your maximum target. So if this is a 1-2-1-2, this is your maximum second wave target. And it looks like ADA is leading the pack. It is, if you have a 1-2-1-2, what do you get after a 1-1-2? 3 to the upside. Okay, and it looks like it's building the 3 to the upside. It bounced on the maximum target for what you want to see for a second wave, and it has claimed this high. So ADA looks incredibly bullish. And right, it's coming down for a retest. ADA is coming down for a retest, guys. Pay attention. This is a very important zone. The most important zone for ADA is it should not claim this low. So what you would like to see, let's go on to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, it's coming down to a very interesting level. Very, very interesting. So what you would like to see is when you take a flip from the low to the high, maximum bouncing area that you want to see for ADA to continue aggressive momentum to the upside is the 786. You don't want ADA to lose the 786. Okay. Already, I mean, you've already tapped the 0.618. You've already tapped it, so it could already form a higher low and continue momentum to the upside. But I think if there's going to be insane bullish news from a psychology perspective, let's not, there's a lot of stop losses here because everyone, was FOMOing into this pump based on the bullish news. Why not go wipe them out? Go and stop them out. Bounce on a bullish second wave target, 1, 2, 3 here to the upside. And then let's get the momentum here to the upside. From a market maker perspective, this is the best zone. Okay. But I want to see something. That target is going to be way too high, way too low. It's not an easy one, legends. Okay, I think from a simplicity perspective, let's just keep it at this. This is your maximum bullish target to keep this structure intact. Okay, if you're going to tap the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the low. If you take this low, I'm looking at 50 cents on ADA. This is a very, very bullish target. If this structure gets invalidated and they send ADA to the downside, this is where I personally myself, no financial advice, this is where I will buy aggressively, because you have front run the 786 level over there. It would be nice to tap it properly. Okay, so I'm talking about the most bearish case scenario. From a bullish case perspective, maximum target is the 786. But you are at massive support, and if price comes into the zone, you can find support and continue momentum back to the upside. Okay, so it has a chance to find support at 70, between 80 and 78 cents. But this needs to be your maximum bullish target. Right, so ADA looks great. It looks like ADA here on the larger time frame. It looks like ADA could potentially be building up bullish waves to continue its third wave here to the upside, which will ultimately claim the high and even maybe go higher. Okay, and even if it claims the low at 50 cents, I will still be bullish on ADA. Okay, it has tapped the high, which signals that it's changing market structure. I like to see a high like that. I want to see a proper higher high, but theoretically it did create a higher high. So theoretically, you have a higher high, you now want a higher low, and you want to see continuation, and then there's your trend. Okay, connecting that pivot against that pivot, okay, it bounces, and you get continuation to the upside. So it's building a new momentum trend back to the upside. Right, so ADA looks great. It looks bullish. It has claimed the high. It actually looks way more bullish than some of the other altcoins. I think the same with XRP as well. But yes, legends, and remember, all of these tokens can be traded on Weeks and Bluffin. Links down in the description. I see we are getting the bounce here still at the moment. I want to see what CVD is doing. We are building up bearish, very local bearish CVD. Okay, so if I look at this structure, there's a chance that we could still continue momentum here to the downside. Okay, look at this pivot and where price is. You are building up bearish CVD, which the target is the low. So maybe it does this again. So, and it's basically, it's chopping until it finds upwards momentum, or it just loses the level and it comes to my area of interest, the 786. Remember that zone, guys. Remember that zone. Okay. Right. Legends, 2 minutes till Powell. Woo! 2 minutes until Powell. Dewald is, if this is the bottom, what key level to take profits hard? For Bitcoin, Catalyst place, if this is for Bitcoin, and this is the bottom, if this is the bottom, okay, and we are going to move up here, I would take profits at the high. Because you said that's the bottom. If this is the bottom, where would you take profits aggressively? At the high. That's always the strategy. When you play a breakout, you take profits by the high. When you play a breakout, you take profits by this high and this high. But I mean, this is the obvious high. This is the high where you need to take profits if you believe the bottom is in. Okay. There's also a monthly level slightly above at 90. So I would say there's a good chance that if this is the bottom, you are going to at least hit $96,000, 157. But to play it safe, I like to say, I like to get out of the club before the police comes. I like to take my profit before the police comes, before the bar fight breaks out, before people get too drunk on profits. So I will take profits over there. That's usually where I take profits. But I mean, you are in charge of your own buttons. Okay. and your own limit orders and your own TP area. So please don't. I'm just a crazy dude here on YouTube. Right, legends, smash up that like. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I've unfortunately run out of time. Over 2 hours here on the live stream. Guys, enjoy the evening, enjoy the weekend. I'm going to be here in front of the charts, seeing how the crypto summit plays out, which is in exactly an hour from now, 59 minutes from now. Okay, unfortunately, I won't be able to stay until then. It's just I'm going to be completely drained with another hour here on the live stream. Legends, have yourselves a great weekend. Irina, Catalyst, BTC Boss, 3 White Soldiers, Hugo, have yourselves a great evening. Until the next one, cheers for now.